Tortora on site on location at Pizza Man here in Baldwinsville, 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville, New York. And of course, we are here every single month throughout the year for many years with your Baldwinsville Bees. For the first time ever, I have the honor and the privilege of welcoming the Baldwinsville Bees Baseball program. And we have a very special way of ending the night, fathers and sons. Please give a round of applause here to your families we got out here. For this fathers and son opportunity, we have Shane, who has the mic first. Shane, how are you?
Sup?
So we have Shane Wellman, and of course we have your dad, who's on the coaching staff, Dennis. Dennis, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing very well. And then of course we have Jacob. Jacob, how are you?
I'm alright. How are you?
Doing well. Jacob Penafeather, and Dave, the head coach. Mr. Penafeather, how are you?
Good. I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight too.
Absolutely. So, Coach, I'm going to have you keep this for a second, and I'll have you start things off. So, you and I had the opportunity, like I said before, to meet when you were coming back from Florida. What were your biggest takeaways from that trip?
I mean, it was our 11th trip down there. Our biggest takeaways is really to take a look and see what kind of team we're going to have coming back, especially the first couple weeks. We got a chance this year to take down 29 players. Our biggest trip. It also was our biggest year with the amount of returners that we had coming back. Our goal is to obviously get better at baseball, but also bond as a team. So we had that opportunity, and we were excited about what we saw, and we were excited about coming back.
I like that. Jacob, I'm going to give you the mic now. Jacob, what's it like to have Dad as a coach in high school?
Honestly, it sucks. Because I feel like I can't always trust what he says as a father, and then I get home and he kind of says the same thing to me as a coach. So
okay, so you think coach and dad are the same?
yes,
Okay, why do you not trust it?
because he'll say these things when I'm on the field, and then he'll just come home, say the exact same things, and he doesn't really change his attitude.
So you think that when you come home that it should be like a dad response?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Coach, you have a rebuttal for this?
Probably should put my wife on the mic right now, but there are times that actually my wife Noelle says, you got to be dad and not coach. I think it's a different dynamic. When you have your son, and especially he's a fourth-year varsity player, and every year is a different year, a different team, and obviously he's grown up as a young man, and I'm always looking to find the best and get the best out of him, not only as a player but as a leader and as a young adult. So I think I'm learning. Unfortunately, it's my only son. We do have a daughter, an older daughter. I don't have another one, coming up through. So you're kind of learning as you go, and every year and every practice and every game is unique in itself. So I will say it is difficult to be able to decipher between both of them. I try to take the car ride home, and there have been times that we won't talk at night, and I'll try to go upstairs, or we'll talk in the morning, and I try to be polite about it, or aware and aware of his feelings and stuff, but it is a different dynamic when you're coaching your son, especially at the level that we're at. We're playing varsity, and we're one of the better teams, one of the better programs in the area.
Yeah. I appreciate that answer. Dennis, how are you?
Oh.
You get the mic now.
Here we go.
So you've heard the father-son dynamic here. What's it like to be coaching Shane?
It's a piece of cake. Unlike him, I have three boys, one that graduated last year, but I was able to coach these guys in Little League and kind of really built a relationship, not only with my own kids, but the majority of our guys on our team. And I coach another sport with my oldest son, football. So it was definitely a learning curve when they were younger. As they got older, it was more Mrs. Wellman just took over, and dealt with them at times, and then once we both were on the same page, we could get together and talk it over.
Okay. So mom was the bridge.
Absolutely.
Okay.
She's the glue for everything.
Fair enough. Shane, what's the experience of having dad here on the staff?
Kind of sucks. He's always yelling at me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's it?
Yeah, he's always yelling at me.
Do you think he's tougher on you because of that father-son bond?
Probably. He doesn't like me really.
So there's 3 sons, you said. So of the 3, where do you rank in your opinion?
I'm definitely third. The youngest over here, he's a favorite, and then they like miss Nico a lot now since he's gone. So I'm last.
So I feel like when we did this, it was like a heartfelt thing, and then both sons said how much it sucks, and now I feel like I'm doing like a Maury Povich, like family bring together. I feel like I'm trying to. This is like a Dr. Phil episode right now. I feel like is where I'm at. So I'm going to ask you to do this, Shane. Tell me your favorite thing about your dad.
Sometimes like before a big game, he like brings the team in, and he's not really PG about it, so he's a little bit funny. Like it's not that funny.
What does he do when you say he brings the team in and he's not PG? Just tells jokes, or what is he doing?
I can't say that.
You can't tell me. Okay. But sometimes it's good.
Yeah, rarely.
Okay. So your compliment of your dad is that he rarely sometimes is funny.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I feel like you're going to be running tomorrow. So, Dennis, tell me something good about Shane.
It's his ability to compete, the hard work he's put in to be able to sit back and watch him develop himself to go to the next level. To hear when he's some coaches that they say compliments about him. As a dad, you can look back and be pretty proud of him for doing all that extra work that he puts in.
That was very kind.
Not bad for someone who doesn't like him.
Yes. All right, Jacob, tell me something good about your dad.
He's a good coach.
He's a good coach.
He's
All
my
right.
dad first, though, and I know he loves me, and I know he does everything he can do to be a better man, a better ball player.
So, does everything he can to make you a better man and a better ball player. That was good. I like that. Coach, something good about Jacob?
He's graduating this year.
Okay.
That's good, number one. No, he's confident. He's grown up around the game. He really is a good kid. I think with the 2 of these boys, I think they've been around us. I don't think they really mean that it sucks being there, but I think it's difficult for them with their peers. That's why we've got Coach Pilata and our JV coach, Coach Savacool, that if we're having issues with these guys, we try to go over to one of them and say, hey, can you go talk to Jake? Can you go talk to Shane? But both are good people. They're going to go on and have successful careers.
I want to ask you this. You mentioned Coach Pilata and Coach Savacool. They're not up here right now. So, Dave, I would love you to tell me something good about Coach Pilata. Don't take too long thinking about it.
No, I mean, if you look at the success of our program, since 2012 was a magical year, but Coach Pilata, John, has been there by our side. He's taken our pitching staff and just taken it to a whole different level with the amount of kids that have had the opportunity to go on and play at the collegiate level. And now to have a couple players playing professional baseball, that's huge because you don't see a lot of that. But besides that, he's passionate, he's caring. He's from Liverpool and played in Liverpool, but has such a passion for Baldwinsville baseball. And it just kind of is part of what we do here, and he's a huge reason for that.
I love that. All right, Dennis, tell me something about Coach Savacool.
Oh, he's a smart fellow. Probably the smartest person around that I've ever been around. His knowledge for the game, the way he controls the kids when they're confused or they're struggling, brings it to a level that relates to all the kids. And I think he's a really good motivator to a lot of these kids. He's had some pretty good success with his own children.
Yeah.
And can relate a lot of his own personal experiences, not only, sometimes as our own kids when we deal with them, but to all our players. He's got great knowledge of the game, and he's a great roommate for Coach Pilato when they're in Florida together.
Fair enough. So with that being said, before we get into rapid fire with the baseball team here for the Bees, Dennis, I'm going to stay with you on this one. Why baseball for you personally, and favorite team?
Me personally, I would think I just fell in love with the game when I was young, and it kind of stuck. I was kind of decent at it. I went on to play college ball, and you really have to love the game of baseball to put the work ethic in that the kids need to do to be successful. What drew me into it, I don't know. There's just something special about this game to compete at a very hard sport over and over where failure is just the normal.
Yeah.
It teaches you so many great life lessons, overcoming and achieving, and hard work pays off, even through failing. So it's just...
It's a good message. Who's your favorite team?
Probably the Red Sox would be my favorite.
Okay. Why the Red Sox?
Yeah, because I hate the Yankees,
Oh.
and I don't really care for Yankee fans at all times.
So I want to just get a pulse for the room. Red Sox cheer. Somebody in the back. Who is that? Stand up. Okay, look at that. All right. So Yankee fans? Fans of anybody besides the Red Sox and the Yankees, you cheer. All right. So we got a little bit of Red Sox, and then it's kind of equal of Yankees and every other team. Okay. You hate the Yankee fans.
At times.
At times. Okay. All right. Shane, why did you pick baseball, and who is your team of choice?
My dad always wanted me to play baseball too, like when I was really young, so I always got to play with him, play catch with him. So this is pretty fun. And sometimes I'm good at it, so I have a good time.
Okay. Who's your favorite team?
Cubbies.
The Cubs. So you got mom and dad are Red Sox fans. How did you become a Chicago Cubs fan?
They're just fun. Like when I was younger, nobody hated them. They kind of sucked. And so there's just like, you root for them because they're bad. And then they got good, and it's just, now they're really good.
Okay. All right. So you wanted to cheer for the underdog. I like that. Okay. Jacob, why baseball for you, and who's the team?
It was kind of in my blood, and I feel like if I picked up a lacrosse stick, I would have been shot.
Felt like if you picked up a lacrosse stick, you would have been shot. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, no, but I was never really pushed to play baseball, but I was around it when I was younger,
Yeah.
and had a love for it. And it's probably the Yankees.
Probably the Yankees.
Yeah,
Favorite Yankee of all time?
it's got to be Derek Jeter, but Robinson Cano is a second.
Okay. Well, we've heard about Jeter. Why Cano?
Smooth player. Probably wasn't. I know him and Jeter didn't really get along, but just wish he could have stayed on for a little longer.
Favorite Yankee right now?
I mean, the easy answer is Volpe, but it's got to be Judge. He's the best player in the league, and he's the best right-handed hitter of all time.
Best right-handed hitter of all time, Aaron Judge.
Yes.
Big words. Okay. All right. Dave, to you. Why baseball? This is something that you've had a passion for and a love for a long time. Do you remember when it first started?
I do. I mean, I just grew into it. I have no idea. Neither of my parents were athletic at all or played. We played Village Green Baseball, which is a community. It wasn't Little League like it is now. I think the friendships growing from there and the kids I grew up with in my neighborhood, I just really enjoy to play. We'd play Indian baseball in the middle of the road with a tennis ball. We'd play two base. We would throw the ball, and play wall ball a lot. We had a really, good neighborhood growing up. And then I think the friendships that developed outside of that, and I had a passion. I got lucky. The school that I went to, I got a chance to walk on and play, and I still have friendships from there.
Where'd you go?
I went to Canisius in Buffalo.
Okay.
and still have some really good friendships from there. And just had a passion since day one. One of my biggest role models was Mark Bader, who I took over the program from, and I also had a chance to coach with him. He was like my second father growing up, and that's why I am, a phys ed and a coach today.
Yeah.
And he was a huge mentor in my life. And now I just have a passion to see the game grow. Dennis is actually a former player for us in the early 2000s, so I got a chance to coach him early in my career, and then he actually went on to play at Canisius and got a chance to play for a guy that I played for that took over the program between coaches. We have another former player that just got a phys ed job. He's actually teaching at Van Buren Elementary School where I taught. Nate Ray, he was our catcher. He graduated in 2020. He was on a couple special teams. Probably the best team we would have ever had was in 2020, the COVID year. We were coming off a tough loss in the 19 sectional championship, where we had actually in 18 lost to Massapequa in the state finals, and returned a lot of kids. In 19 didn't work out for us, but Nate was a part of that, and now he's teaching, and now he's volunteer coaching. So that's now my passion, is to see this program continue to grow, and then someday hand it over. But the relationships right now I have with Coach Wellman, Coach Pilata, Coach Savacool, we've been together for a long time. And I think when you start to look at the success of programs, you look at where their coaching staffs and how long their coaching staffs have been together. But, this game has given me so many opportunities. It's a tough game. We know it's a lot of failure, but you also grow from failure. And that's what we try to, bring on to the boys, and hopefully they understand it and dealing with adversity. So.
Yeah, can't become who you are without adversity. Favorite team? Are you a Yankee as well?
Yankees, Don Mattingly.
Okay, Don Mattingly.
I saw it. I don't know if it was his first game, but my parents did. I went, and Don Mattingly replaced Dave Winfield at left field. I think that was one of the first games that Don played when he got called up. So,
Yeah.
That group. And one of my other favorite players was Willie Randolph.
Willie Randolph. All right. Perfect. Well, we're going to jump into rapid fire. Shane, you get to ask me the first question.
I'm gonna ask.
You got to ask me something. Yes, sir. And then I'll ask you.
Favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show right now or of all time?
All time.
Boy Meets World. Got to be Boy Meets World. My favorite show growing up. And I actually got to meet Danielle Fishel, who played Topanga, who was my first ever crush. And she was like the nicest person in the world. And it was funny because the girl that I was with at the time, I looked happier taking a picture with Topanga than I did with the girl I was dating. And we broke up like the day after I got home. Not because of that, but it was just funny how it all worked out. Meet your celebrity crush and then change your relationship. So my question back to you, Shane. Let's go with that. Who is your celebrity crush?
I don't have one. I love my girlfriend.
What a politician. So if she wasn't watching, who's your celebrity crush? You got one.
No.
You got one.
No, I don't.
How long have you been dating this girl?
A year.
A year. What is her name?
Rita Zuba.
Oh, okay.
You had her on.
I did have her on here. So congratulations on a year.
Thank you.
And congratulations on staying loyal on the air. Let's clap it up for loyalty. Look at this. All right. Dennis, you can ask me a question. Anything in the world.
Well, I don't really remember what Hudson or Nate had asked, so I don't want to repeat anything.
Okay.
Did they ask how you got into this? Like, what brought you to this point of
No.
getting in? Okay, that'll be my question.
So I like being a storyteller. My dad when I was 5 years old, my dad had a word processor. And it was this typewriter that had this little screen. And back in the day when you were typing on a typewriter, you couldn't see what you were typing or go back or anything. And this one you could. And so 5 years old, I would climb up on a chair. My dad would set it up on a Saturday morning, and I would just write from my imagination. I've always been a storyteller. I love sports. I played a little bit of baseball growing up, played basketball more often, got recruited D3 for basketball. And so I dedicated a lot of time to sports, storytelling, making people laugh, and bringing people together. And it kind of just turned into something with a lot of hard work and a lot of effort. But that word processor that I started telling stories on is in my office right next to my desk to remind me that I started my career climbing up on the kitchen table and typing on my dad's word processor. My question back to you, Dennis. Dennis, if you could switch lives, if your soul could switch bodies with anybody currently living on the planet, who would you switch lives with for 24 hours?
That's deep.
And why?
It's got to be Josh Allen.
Josh Allen?
Josh Allen, absolutely.
Okay, all right. Just because he's Josh Allen?
He's just Josh Allen.
Okay. Josh Allen because he's Josh Allen. I like that. A lot of Bills fans, this is a Beeville Bills backers bar, and I know Cookie very well, and of course Jimmy Delia is a big Bills fan, so I know they like that answer. All right, Jacob, what do you got for me?
What's your favorite breakfast sandwich?
My favorite breakfast sandwich? Probably the sandwich I created that's at Mother's Cupboard in Syracuse, because I like sweet and I like savory, so I created a bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich that is inside of 2 pieces of French toast. So you can cut it up and have it with syrup, or you can pick it up and have it with a sandwich. So I would definitely say that if you haven't been to Mother's Cupboard, go to Mother's Cupboard and get my breakfast sandwich over there.
That would definitely be a stop.
All right. My question back to you, Jacob. Jacob, if your team had to describe you by using a fictional character, either a superhero, a villain, a cartoon character, if your team was going to describe you as a fictional character, who would you be and why?
Kowalski.
Why Kowalski?
Because I just spew out senseless knowledge. It doesn't have anything to do with the actual topic.
All right. So you think that that's fair? Would you guys agree? Kowalski? Little bit? Say yes. Is there anybody else you would pick? Just Kowalski. All right. Okay. Coach? Coach, you get the last question here, and then I'll ask you.
So you said you were in Rome last week?
I was in Rome. I was in Rome, Napoli. I was in Tortora, Italy, which was insane. I was in Maddaloni, and I was in Capri.
So with your podcast, where, and this might be it, where you were, what's been the neatest spot where you've been able to air your show?
So I would say Italy is really special. The first place that we did an international show was Toronto, and I'm a Raptor fan, so that was cool. And then I would say broadcasting from the Bahamas and Mexico when I was on a cruise, that was really insane. But, I mean, we've been able to broadcast on the West Coast. I broadcasted with my dad when we went to the World Series of 2023 with the Diamondbacks, so that was cool to do that with my dad. It was cool to be in San Diego and do something out there. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Florida's a second home, and I broadcasted everywhere from, Tallahassee, Jacksonville area down to Miami. So I don't know if I could pick, a specific thing, but I know the guys asked me in the last one, and I said Italy was really special because to go back to where my family originated from and to be able to climb a mountain, and at the top of the mountain to look over Maddaloni, where my dad's family's from, and then do a broadcast, record a video from up in Maddaloni, because I couldn't go live at the top of the mountain. It's like a place for reverence and for faith. But to be able to broadcast after climbing a mountain was probably one of the coolest things. And to do that with the Stations of the Cross and to honor God on the way up the mountain, and then do a show after being there with my faith and do it with my family where they're from, that was, I don't know if you can top that. And I left a lot on top of that mountain, and I came down a better man, so I'm going to leave that way. So my question for you, Coach.
Make it easy.
All right. Coach, if you decided that you were going to run for president in 2028 and you won, who would be your vice president, and what's the first thing you would do as president of the United States? I've thought about running for president. That's why I asked this question.
No, I wouldn't trust it. I got to go with Chris Sabacool. He's one of the smartest individuals. He's level-headed. Coach Pilata would get us into a war probably. Coach Wellman and I would not work well together. Our wives would say that.
Okay.
We wouldn't. We would probably become part of Canada if we were together.
Okay.
So I would say Coach Sabacool, because I would rely on a lot.
Okay.
With him.
What's the first thing that you and Coach Sabacool would do as president and VP?
I wish this question was years ago, because I would have said put the DH in the National League, but that's already taken care of. Right?
Okay. I agree. It was weird to have two different leagues and one rely on a pitcher, which typically they're horrible, and then the other have a dedicated hitter. Didn't make any sense.
So what would I do in my first 100 days?
Yeah, your first 100 days, what are you doing?
First 100 days. Really not a huge political person.
Okay.
I would.
You could change anything in the world.
I have no idea. That's such a huge.
I would tell you what I would do in central New York. Do you want to know?
Get rid of snow?
I would have not allowed the governor's office and state people that be to rip up every highway in central New York at the same time.
Yeah. It's kind of like our district with all the construction we're doing right now.
Yeah. According to some information that I was told about the construction, Kathy Hochul said Syracuse does not have enough traffic, so apparently she didn't think it would be a problem. I think she's wrong, and I think maybe we need a new governor to not rip up our roads. But I don't know, like, what happened in 690. So, do we need a new governor? We got a slow clap. I think we do. Yeah. I'm okay saying it. I'll run against her. Bring it on, Kathy. But, I mean, I think we need somebody representing New York that actually cares about 99% of the state, which is not the island. So I think maybe if we had representation in upstate New York, we would get what we want up here. And I don't think that we vote the same. I don't think we think the same. And I don't think we are the same as Long Island. So I think it's time that we have somebody represent us.
I think that's why you see the lack of Long Island on our shirts for more than one reason.
Yeah. So there's no Long Island on this shirt for a reason. Not that I won't visit, but I think we need upstate New York to be well represented. So one more time for upstate New York. I just want to hear it for the home. So with that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from Pizza Man, I want to thank the history we made here tonight, fathers and sons, to have Dennis and Shane Wellman, and of course Jacob and Dave Penafeather. Please give them a round of applause. Have a great rest of your season. Continue to play well. And may today be the day that Kathy Hochul knows I called her out. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.